Wow, what just happened? The Cowboys got a win over the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-17, and they moved to 3-2, which was very, very necessary for the next few games. They have a tough schedule coming up. Pretty sure their next 6 opponents are going to be tough wins. So to be able to move to 3-2, kind of get ahead of that 500 record, it's definitely going to help them out. But they got a win tonight on Sunday Night Football, and honestly, that's all that really matters right now. So let's talk about it. I can already see the comments now, people talking about how ugly this win was. It was a sloppy performance from the offense. You know, the defense held up well. But in reality, Dallas was down their edge 1, edge 2, edge 3, edge 4, cornerback 2, and cornerback 3, their left tackle 1, and wide receiver 2. Sure, you can say it was ugly, but to me, that's a hell of a win. To go on the road, hold the Steelers to points, score 20 points, although they should have had way more than that because of their ineptitude in the red zone, but it wasn't perfect. I wasn't expecting it to be perfect. I thought it would look a lot like it did. Maybe not with how bad the red zone offense was, but overall, I thought it would be a gritty game. Dallas would kind of struggle a little bit more to run the ball and do things that they did. But I predicted a 20-18 score, and it was 20-17 Dallas. It wasn't perfect, didn't expect it to be perfect, but there were good enough moments stacked in there to get a win. I thought that Dak Prescott played well. People are going to say that he didn't because of the 2 interceptions, the 1 fumble in the red zone, and those certainly suck. But he also made some really big time throws and also made some really big mistakes. I think what kind of supplemented some of those issues were the run game. Dallas actually got the ground game going. And that brings me to my first star of the game, which is Rico Dowdle. Rico had 20 carries, 87 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. Obviously, those are not crazy numbers. They're not going to blow you away, but Rico played well enough, and so did the offensive line, to grind out the game. Even being able to get Rico to 20 carries certainly helped this offense. And then he had 2 receptions for 27 yards and a touchdown as well. Now, we're not going to talk about the fumble. We're going to talk about that at the end of this video. We're going to keep it positive for right now. And that takes me to my second star of the game, which is Jalen Tolbert. He had 7 catches, 87 yards, 12.4 yards per catch, and he had a big-time reception down the sideline for 48 yards, and of course, he caught the game-winning touchdown. I said going into training camp that I thought that Tolbert would take a step forward, he would play better than we've seen in the past, be a bigger part of this offense, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've been pretty let down with what he's shown up to this point. But now, with Brandon Cooks out, Tolbert stepping into that wide receiver 2 role, I was very, very impressed tonight. Dak targeted him 10 times. That was 1 more target than CeeDee Lamb got in this game. And he played extremely well. Honestly, I'm not sure you would have gotten that kind of performance from Brandon Cooks at this point. This is what we've been waiting on from this wide receiver room. The offense was good tonight. They had no problem moving the ball. I think at one point, Chris Collinsworth said that Dallas had 5 drives of 50 or more yards in a row. Obviously, they got down to the red zone and it completely sputtered out, but I'm not really sure that's as much on the wide receiver room as it was on the play calling and the quarterback. But Tolbert being able to have the performance that he did tonight certainly helped this offense, and he is a big reason that you won. I'm not sure I thought I would be saying that after tonight, but he really is. So shout out to Jalen Tolbert, shout out to Rico Dowdle. Those were the 2 guys that you needed to play well, and they did. Now let's go over to the defensive side of the ball. I talked about it earlier in the video. Dallas was down 4 of their top 4 defensive ends going into this game. They were also down Deron Bland and Kalen Carson, their cornerback 2 and 3, which means I was not very confident in what they were going to be able to do. But Mike Zimmer deserves a lot of credit for this game. Early on, Fields was getting the ball out fast, but as the game went on, I thought the secondary played better. Zimmer got pressure with different looks. He was doing a little bit of different things, kind of confusing Fields at certain points, mixing up those looks. I thought the run defense looked good for the most part, as Najee Harris had just 3 yards per carry. And this defense wasn't really gashed. They weren't giving up those big explosive plays that we've seen over the first quarter of the season. Now, I don't think that Justin Fields is a top 10 quarterback by any means, but he can hurt you with his legs. And when he did run, they did a pretty good job of shutting that down as well and not giving the Steelers that kind of crutch to beat you with. Outside of about 3 drives, I thought they looked really, really good. And I just have to give Zimmer his flowers a little bit here. The run defense looked good for the most part. The back end looked good, kind of makeshift defensive back room, or at least cornerback room. My expectations for what they were going to be able to do stopping the run and rushing the passer were far exceeded in this game. I'm just excited, over the moon that Dallas was able to get a win. Now, we're going to talk about all of their mishaps in this game, all of the lost opportunities that they had, including the red zone offense, which had me absolutely livid at one point. If you guys follow me on Twitter, if you don't, go check that out. You know, I was pissed at both Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy because they can share the blame on this one. The fumble, the interception, that's on Dak. But the 2nd and 10 runs with Ezekiel Elliott, that's on Mike. And unfortunately, those issues carried all the way into the last play of the game. I want to stay positive here because Dallas was able to get a win, but why are they not quarterback sneaking it on the half-yard line? Why are you handing the ball off when your quarterback literally just needs to lay down on top of the center and it's a touchdown? Every other team would probably just quarterback sneak it, especially with a guy like Dak that's 6'2", 200 and whatever pounds, and all he has to do is stick his head into the back of Cooper Beebe's jersey and he has a touchdown. If Dallas would have lost on that, you guys probably wouldn't have seen me for a week or two. But like I said, we're staying positive here. That's a win. 3-2, you're above 500. You have a tough stretch of games coming up, but you got the win, missing a ton of key pieces. And that is a good sign to me. So thank you guys for staying up so late. I know the game got delayed. I really appreciate you watching the channel, subscribing, commenting down below. Let me know your thoughts. More videos coming this week, I promise. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye.